Hello. So let's see, what kind of day has today been? It's been a Sunday kind of day. Um, and by the way, today's project is get another shopping bag because I've become obsessed. So, Sunday kind of day. I finally got to sleep in for the first time this weekend. Um, Actually, I'm gonna wait a minute and see if people show up. Mm, or not. So, hello, sir. Mr. Loki wants to come hang out. Really? So I went and got my flu shot on Friday, and it was a flu shot Friday. Mm, nope, I can't count. One, two. I'll try to make my shopping bag a different shape this time. I think I want a square bottom. So I got my flu shot, and it was flu shot. Like, my arm still hurts 48 hours later. I'm like, okay, well, I know I'm going to feel crummy on Saturday. I'll go do my morning errands and then take a nap. So I went to the chiropractor, went to breakfast, and then I had errands to run. And then Yasera went to the doctor because she wasn't feeling well. And the next thing I knew, I'm getting home at 4 o'clock. And it's Furball weekend, so I'm going to go out and meet friends for Furball. And I messed this up. Start over again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey boss, how are you doing? Um, I'm whining because I never got my nap on Saturday. But I got to sleep in till 10:30 today, so that was nice. And then I woke up, and shortly after the boys woke up, and we got to play D&D all day. That was pretty fantastic. Except for the part where assassins killed my father. So yes, I'm going to just talk about Yarn and rant about D&D tonight. Assassins killed my father. I had to bury him. And now I'm being sent on an undercover mission to pretend that I'm a priest of a different god. And I don't know why. But let's see, what else? This week has just been an absolute shit show for me. Um, my favorite drama site is full of authentically horrible stuff that is so terrible I cannot allow myself to read any more of it. I've literally stayed offline all day until just now. So I don't even know what's going on in the world because if I open my Twitter, I want to talk to knitters and it's full of furries today. It has been for the last 3 days. Anywhere I go, it's just I go on Telegram and it's all anybody's talking about. I just there's nowhere to go, nothing to do. I saw more things yesterday. Oh crap. Crap, crap, crap. This is wrong pattern. Um, let's pull one of those back. Just put one here. So I'm trying to design a different bottom for this shopping bag and make it a little bit solid and a little bit not. And I have no clue what I'm doing because I have no pattern except my own brain. Stop stepping on my hair! And the 4-foots are being jerks all night. So I cleansed my palate this afternoon by watching Leah Remini's Scientology: The Aftermath. I watched an episode of that. And I've realized my life has gotten very weird if I consider it calming, relaxing, and infinitely more sane to listen to and watch an episode of a show talking about how horrible and reprehensible, the horrible, reprehensible, abusive things the Church of Scientology does to its members compared to what else I've been seeing all week. I'm feeling a little weird tonight because everybody ditched me. Ysera went to bed early. What did I do? I'm having more trouble with this stupid yarn. Ta-da! I finished the first round. Get in there. And it's perfect. None of these will be confused for purses with the holes in them. But he is Swiss cheese bag. I don't know. I'm thinking I might, if I can keep knocking these out as fast as the last two, I might make the couple of these for Christmas presents. I love him so much. I listen to him all day at work. Well, yeah, mostly Jehovah's Witnesses, but there's been some really good stuff about Mormons lately. Um, he has done Scientology. I also rather enjoyed one he talked about, and he was discussing whether Christianity is a cult. But I do. I love him. I love how long it took him to realize I got some new fan art. Has become a catchphrase. He was he was adopted by the furries. Well, that makes sense. He does get a lot of furry art. I need to keep going through his stuff. And as much fun as I have listening to him Oh my god, no, don't ask him that. Don't you dare. Um, if furry is a cult. Um, d- in and of itself, furry is not a cult. But I am convinced there are cults within the furry fandom. Like the fan children that worship certain personalities and think that XYZ person is the arbiter of how we're supposed to think. And there's enough people who think they're the authority on what furry is that it would definitely be an interesting commentary. Um well, now last I checked he hasn't is not actually his full-time job yet. Although he's very much trying to make it one. But he'd gotten a lot of his videos demonetized, so he's working to get those up again. But yes, Telltale is a favorite, and if I actually had anything worth talking about, he is who I would model myself after. He tries very hard to be as fair as he can about things that he knows he's not truly objective about. Well, I'm a little bit behind 3 weeks. I just his videos come to me as a what's next. I just play one of his videos and it goes nonstop. But if you want another good atheist podcaster, have you checked out Rachel Oates? She's another fun one. She's less about cults and much more about the dangerous indoctrination practices of certain types of Christianity. Um, let's see. Her name is. Let me make sure I spelled that right for you. Put it up my phone. Go to the man. Make me lose where I might place on FLD. So here's what I'm actually watching on YouTube right now. Ah, ba, 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 ba. And yes, her name is Rachel Oates, spelled Rachel. I'm sorry, it's backward in my camera. But she's fantastic and a lot of fun to listen to. And she's from London, so listening to her accent is always a joy. Um, but yes, I have a very unhealthy fascination with cults. I also my newest D&D character is debating starting a cult. Apparently that is a decree from her god that she needs to start one. So Rosca should not be allowed to world build. He builds very weird gods. But he's also convinced me I need to play a serial killer one day. But yeah, so do you have any other fantastic cult podcasts? Because I would love more interesting things to listen to at work. I've been listening to a podcast called Cults. Um, that goes into some pretty interesting historic cults as well as modern ones. And dude, it's a cult, which is amazing. It's where two chicks get together and get drunk and talk about cults. That's fantastic. I love it because the one girl gets so drunk she can't pronounce anything. But when I finish streaming tonight, I'm going to go back to my history of the English language and hear more about early Germanic tribes because we've made it to the early Germanic tribes in the period of our history. Hmm. This has a very weird not flatness. If I lay it on the back of my hand, are these all on YouTube, boss? Or are they podcasts on like Stitcher and iTunes? Hey, whoa! How are you, Cecil? All YouTubers. Well, I will see what I can do. YouTube is hard at work because it chews through my battery. Whereas actual podcasts being audio only, I can turn the screen off. I can't listen to podcasts when I sleep. It I can't listen to music when I sleep. Um, one of the factors in my insomnia is that anything wakes me up at night. Um, because my ex-husband used to wake me up anytime I tried to go to sleep. I'd be asleep for maybe an hour or 2 hours, and he'd come wake me up and tell me he wanted to order pizza from Pizza Hut or any other night. He'd just come wake me up. I was not allowed to sleep straight through at any point in time. So when I finally left him, I literally couldn't sleep. It I would lay in bed and stare at the ceiling for hours. I would It was not unusual for me to stay up over 24 hours because I just couldn't sleep, and I would push myself until I collapsed from exhaustion. I have finally gotten to the point where I can usually get to sleep at close to the same time every night, but I still require medication to actually fall asleep a lot of the time. On the other hand, I can finally, it took about 10 years, sleep through the night. I no longer wake up 2 or 3 times for no reason. Um, this came up in a conversation in the PA First chat where people were talking about falling asleep in situations that you shouldn't be able to fall asleep, and I sat there with, "Oh, no, you can totally fall asleep while eating." I've fallen asleep while eating. I've fallen asleep while knitting and crocheting. Twice I've fallen no, I've come close to falling asleep in the shower. I legitimately fell asleep standing up at my desk at work. Um, Exhaustion is a terrible, terrible thing. But that's also why, after I am done talking to you guys tonight, I'm going to put on a podcast. I'm going to listen to somebody talk, and I'm not going to watch any more TV. Um, the blue filter will be on my cell phone so that I'm not getting exposed to that blue light that messes with your brain at bedtime. Um, and then when I take Sudafed so I can breathe, I will actually have a really good, solid, restful night's sleep. And all of the bad shit that I went through is just that. It's bad shit that I went through and survived. And it's what's made me into the mostly considerate human being you guys have gotten to know. I almost wish Sudafed would wire me up, but every drug I have ever taken knocks me out, even non-drowsy. It's just something that I'm wired for, and I'm used to it by now. Um, Now, if there's something bothering me and I do want noises to soothe me to sleep, I will actually listen to rainstorms. Or I use My Noise, and they have some really nice generators. When I need to concentrate at work, I listen to um, a rail noise generator that sounds like a train tracks. It sounds like a train on the tracks, and you just hear that click, 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 click. And you can set it up so that it has like a low, low conversation sound that's not actually words or newspapers rustling and sounds like that. And it just loops in a cycle and makes a white noise that you are able it's perfect for focusing. I can't wait to be home for an excellent thunderstorm because I've got that beautiful window seat in my bedroom that I just want to sit in my big cushiony window seat with a big blanket and just watch the rain from my warm, cozy spot. Wow, am I messing up tonight? So, how often do you curl up, boss, on your giant couch and watch the thunderstorms from your big old window? Well, yeah, you need to be careful what you listen to when you sleep because it messes with your brain. Uh, I did not did this right, and my bag will not lay flat. Oh well, I mean, it's not like it's going to stay flat with there's stuff in it, right? I just want to Well, I don't get to watch thunderstorms anymore because I've got, this big, giant cow of a dog that needs me to hug her and tell her she's going to be okay. Because when it rains too hard, she gets scared. So while I don't get to watch thunderstorms, I will get to sit in my window and watch snowfall because snow is quiet and the dog likes snow because she's crazy. She runs around in it and won't come inside. But let's see. So I'm super excited because it's fall. I I'm sorry. My couch isn't super comfy either. Probably because there's a folding bed inside it. And I haven't tried sleeping on the folding bed yet because I've got, my big old bed upstairs, which is exactly the right size for me and the cat, who wakes me up in the middle of the night because she's evil and cat. Well, I didn't accuse your couch of being haunted. I've sat on your couch. I think it's a comfy couch, but I have also haven't tried to sleep on it. And I don't know if I'm going to try and sleep on your couch because, Delaney. A funky looking smiley in the chat. Yeah, apparently couches are very good at attracting furries. Um, as long as I've owned a couch, there's been a furry that sleeps on them. I keep getting hair in my yarn because I washed my hair tonight, and so it's extra misbehaved. But let's see what other interesting stuff is happening today. I've got people tweeting at me. I'm afraid to open Twitter. People are tweeting at me about Tiger's estate because I was discussing. I got involved in an argument about who lives longer, tigers or cheetahs. And I mean, I have nothing against cheetah. I have a friend who's a cheetah, but they're cheetahs. They don't live as long as tigers. They're barely cats. They make bird noises. And I'm never going to let that drop because it's hilarious. Old man cat's on a tear tonight. He keeps running loops around the house, and I can't figure out why. He's all, Loki, please stop stepping on my hair and show the entire world your butt, because that's all you're good for. Um, yeah, I don't have anything exceptional or wonderful going on tonight. I was ranting earlier about how I'm staying off the internet because it's full of terrible, horrible, awful things. So I'm going to go watch more stuff about cults, think about how awesome Telltale is, and I want to be like him. You you avoid the Trump stuff. I avoid that furry drama I told you about. And be careful with BoJack Horseman. Everything I hear is it's very depressing. So make sure you're taking moments to find happy smiles too. Yeah, so I was watching the My Little Pony movie yesterday, and like I said, I watched a Scientology The Aftermath and a little bit of Tiny House Hunters tonight because laughing at people who try to move their family with 3 to 4 children into this 300 square foot tiny house are insane. Why would you try to move all of these children into a space where no one has any privacy? I won't go so far as to call it child abuse, but it's because they'll get it and they'll set it up so that there's bunk beds for all 3 boys to share one room, which by law is totally okay. It's just a very tiny room. And most of these people who do that live in places where the kids can go outside and they want the kids to play outside all day. I couldn't live in a tiny house unless I lived there alone. I thought about it real hard for a while, and then I realized that living alone is not healthy for me. So I went the opposite of tiny and got a 2,300 square foot house that could fit several tiny houses in it. And there's only one room we don't really use that much yet. And that should be rectified soon if it isn't already. Um, the room that's supposed, well, yes, but that's why you have several roommates, boss. Besides the fact both of us did the thing where we were able to help people out, give them a chance to get their feet under them, while also giving us knots. I'm mad at this knot. I actually think I'm going to end here. I'm going to put my yarn away until morning. I'm going to go make myself some delicious tea for my throat, and we'll see where things will go from there. So, Loki wants to say goodnight. Say goodnight, Loki. Grumpy Puss. Good night, guys. I'll be back on Wednesday when the old man stops standing on me. Good night, boss. Night, Cecil.